is Sister MaryRose, and I've been the parish secretary here at St. Francis Cabrini for over 2 years, and a member of the Sisters of Christian Charity for 40 years. I've been asked to share my vocation story with you. As I was preparing this message, I heard on the radio station that I listened to while commuting. They recently said that 80% of people will go to church if a friend invited them. So why aren't churches full? Because it's hard to ask someone to go to church. It feels risky. You're putting yourself out there and unsure how they'll respond. Yet, if the study is right, chances are the answer would be yes. That reminded me of when I was just out of high school and had stopped going to Mass. I don't remember why exactly. It was just something that I didn't feel inclined to do at the time. I wasn't anti-church. I still helped out at bingo on Friday nights and joined in parish events. Sunday mornings, though, were filled with other things, and I didn't give a thought to what I was missing. One day, while on an errand for my dad, I saw my favorite teacher, Sister John Marie, and stopped to chat. She asked if I'd like to go on a Vocation Awareness Day to explore religious life. I laughed. Here I was, skipping Mass, and she's asking me to be a nun. She just smiled and calmly said, "Don't laugh, just think about it." I said I would because she was important to me, and I went on my way chuckling, yeah, that's not going to happen. The decision to turn the invite down came quickly, though her question did make me think about returning to church. After a few days, I decided to go to confession and start going back to Mass. It still took another couple of weeks to work up the nerve. Had she not asked, I might not have found my way back to a relationship with God, and I cannot begin to imagine how I'd have found my way to being a religious sister. The night that I finally went to confession was also an anniversary celebration at church, which I was expected to attend. The evening started with Mass, so I figured I'd go to confession first and then be able to receive communion at Mass before the party. What I didn't realize is that it was also the night before that Vocation Day. Sister John Marie was at the anniversary party and asked again if I thought about the Vocation Day, and I informed her that I would not be attending. However, other sisters and several young ladies planning to go brought it up repeatedly until I finally said, "Fine, if I'm up in the morning when you leave, I'll go." Of course, after a late night, I had no intention of being awake by their 6 a.m. departure time. As you can guess, I was up early, and because I couldn't tell Sister one thing and do another, I went. On my way out, I informed my dad, adding that he shouldn't tell anyone as this was going nowhere. Obviously, God had other plans, and a seed sprouted that day, a seed that grew despite my figurative kicking and screaming. While I had always admired and wanted to be like the sisters, becoming one was not for me. I wanted a family and a house in the suburbs. Over the next year, try as I might, the idea would not fade, despite many an argument with God that religious life was not for me. God shut down every single reason until I finally surrendered. I knew it was God's will, and I was raised to believe that you don't say no to God, even if you want to. Part of me also knew that while I could have said no, following God's will leads to a deeper fulfillment than resisting. It's funny though, it still took a good 4 or 5 years after entering the community for me to realize that this is not only what God wanted, I wanted it too. I have spent the last 40 years loving and serving God and His people, and can honestly say that that yes was the best decision I ever made. So I encourage you, If you see something, say something. If you see someone who might need a relationship with God, or someone you know hasn't been to Mass in a while, invite them. If you notice goodness or potential in someone, affirm and encourage them. If God shows you someone he might be calling, invite them to consider it. And if someone asks you or encourages you to step outside your comfort zone, like considering religious life, be open to it. God is calling you in some way. Answering that call may lead to more joy than you ever imagined. God bless us all here at St. Francis Cabrini, and may he bring many vocations to religious and priestly life.